The exercise files for today's course are located in the video description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hi everyone, welcome to our Google Gmail Fundamentals course. My name is Elissa Smith. Now this course is designed for anyone who is looking to maximize the use of their Gmail account. Not only are we going to show you how to create a Gmail account and also use it, filter it, sort it, even label your Gmail, but we're also going to spend some time showing you other great features that come with a Gmail account, like the chat feature and your Google Calendar and also your Google Contacts. So please join us on this journey while we really learn to maximize your experience with Google Gmail. Hi everyone, in this lesson, I want to show you how to create your own Gmail account. So I'm going to be using Google Chrome for this session because of course that's what Gmail would like us to do. So I'm going to come in and actually search for my Google site to perform a search to find Gmail. Now that I'm at the Google search site, I can go ahead and come right here and do a search for Gmail. This is going to either log me into an existing Gmail account or it's going to give me an option to actually go in and create a Gmail account of my own. Notice here in the middle, I can create a personal Gmail account or I can attribute a Gmail account to work. Also, same options in the top right. Now, a little bit of background on what Gmail is. It's Google's free web-based email hosting service. It was actually launched in 2004, invitation only, and then made public in 2009. The thing you need to understand is that when you sign up for a Gmail account, you're also getting a Google account, which is awesome because it gives you access to Google's online services like Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, Calendar, Google Meets, along with additional tools. Now, a Google account also can sometimes be attributed to what's called Google Workspace. Google Workspace is actually an online productivity and collaboration application suite that Google also created. It actually started back in 2006. It was rebranded to the G Suite in 2016. And now in October of 2020, it's officially been called the Google Workspace. This course is going to focus, of course, on Gmail, but just know that sometimes when you have Gmail, you may also have access to the Google Workspace, which gives you even more tools, especially if you're using Gmail as a tool for work, for email at work. Now, what I'm going to do is come right here to create account, and it's going to take me to where I need to provide a name. This won't necessarily be my Gmail name because remember, there are 2 billion Gmail users, so many of these names have been used up. Notice it makes suggestions for you. What I would suggest here is continue trying different combinations until you find one that will work. And sometimes it takes a few tries. Once you do, you'll see that there's no red involved. Down here, you need to provide a password. Remember that these passwords are going to be case sensitive and they are encrypted. So don't lose your password. The next screen is going to ask you for information for a recovery email, your birthday, your gender, and after that, your Gmail account's going to be created. Stay with me and come to the next lesson so we can actually start learning to use our email. Hi everyone, we're ready to log into my Gmail account. So what I'm going to do is come into my Chrome browser, type in Gmail up in my URL bar. This will take you to your login screen for your Gmail account. Now that the account's been created, I can get into it. So I'm going to come here to the top right-hand corner, click on Sign In, and then of course I'll type in my Gmail address that I created, and then my password. Remember, the passwords are encrypted, they're case sensitive, and don't give them out to anyone because you don't want them to have access to your Gmail. Once I'm in my Gmail account, let's take a minute and look at how easy it is to navigate in this area. So a couple of important features in the Gmail interface. On the top left-hand side, below the back button and the URL bar of whatever browser you're using, because remember, you can use Gmail with just about any browser. So Edge, Firefox, Chrome, Safari. We're using Chrome because, of course, this is a Google tool. But right here, you're going to see that it shows me I'm in Gmail. And then to the left of that, I have a main menu button. It looks like 3 horizontal lines. This is giving me access to the different areas of my Gmail. I can actually collapse this menu down by clicking on the 3 horizontal lines or click on it again to make it full size. Later on, we're going to explore this menu, but basically what you're seeing are the different areas of your Gmail where you can store your email content. Now, in the top right-hand corner, we're also going to see some additional tools to help me manage my Gmail account. In the very top right, I will see the initial of the account name. When I click on this, it shows me the account I'm logged into. Some people have multiple Gmail accounts, so it's nice to make sure you're in the correct one. There's also an option here to take you back to the original personalizations that you made to your Gmail account. So if you click here on Manage Your Google Account, because remember, your Gmail is part of your Google account, it will open up a separate browser tab where you can go back and make changes to your Google account itself. We're going to close that and go back to the Gmail. Back in the original, again, tab representing my Gmail account, in addition to, again, the button letting me access my Google account, I'm also going to see right here a little tile that allows me to get to the other apps that are part of my Google account. This is going to include things like Google Meet, the calendar tool, and even Google Drive, which we do have classes on, by the way. To the left-hand side of that, you're going to see the settings gear. And this is where you can go in and really customize how your Gmail account looks, which is something that we will do in just a few minutes. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm actually ready to start reading some of my Gmail and also create my first email message and send it from my new Gmail account. So right now I'm in my Gmail account. You can see that I've actually started to receive some incoming messages. I'm going to close this for right now so we can just focus on how to open up a message that's come into my Gmail inbox. One of the easiest ways is to go to the message. When it's in bold, it means it hasn't yet been read or you haven't yet clicked on it. When it's not bold, that means that you've already focused on it. So I'm just going to double click on the message and you'll notice that with a single click or a double click, the message will open. This is going to show me some important information. The top shows me who the message is from, including their email address, then the actual text or content of the email, or Gmail in this case. And then I can read down, and at the bottom, it even provides me with reply and forward options. But right now, we're just focusing on how to read the incoming mail. Now, to go back to my inbox, I have a couple of different options. One of them is this back button at the top left corner of the message. I could also come in after I've opened a message up and click over here in the navigation pane on my inbox. And that would just close the message and take me back to my inbox list. Now, how do you create a new Gmail that you're going to send to someone? Well, in the top left corner, there is a compose button. You can also do on your keyboard shortcuts, but for this one, we're going to use the compose button and it opens up a new message box. Now in the top right-hand corner, you're going to see that you have minimize, full screen, and close buttons. I'm going to go ahead and go into full screen mode just so that we can focus on this new message box. The first thing I see is that my cursor is blinking in the to field. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the to. Notice right here in the top right-hand corner, you also have a CC for carbon copy or a BCC, which stands for blind carbon copy. Blind carbon copy would allow you to send that email message to someone, but everyone else that the message is being sent to would not see that person's name as one of the recipients of the email. Subject line is, of course, what the message is about. And it's good email ethics to always send some sort of a subject line with your message. And then I'm typing in the body of my email at this point. Now notice at the very bottom of the message, I also have a formatting toolbar. And then in addition, tools to help me add extra information to the message. But when I'm ready to send it off, I'm just going to click on the send button. And the message will be sent through the internet to that person's email account. It doesn't have to be a Gmail account. That's the beauty of Gmail. It works great with all other email applications. So we've just sent our first message. Come to the next lesson because we're going to look at how you can send messages with attachments and also do forwards and replies. Hi, everybody. We're ready to customize our Gmail account with a tool called Quick Settings. To get to your Quick Settings, you want to go to the top right-hand corner and look for the cog with a black border. This is the Settings button, and really it's where you make your customizations to how your Gmail works and how it looks. When I click right here, you'll see that the top section allows me to deal with the chat and meet features of my Google account, which I'm not quite ready for yet, but I am going to come down and look at density. This is how much space is between each of the messages. You'll see here there's a choice to do compact. It makes the messages have a lot less space between them. I'm going to keep mine comfortable so I have a little extra room. There are also some really fun themes that you can apply to your Gmail account, and just notice that you can even bring in your own photos here, or if you scroll down under themes, you can even go in and find images that are provided by Microsoft, and they actually become the background of your Gmail account. Kind of make things look a little bit fun. Now, in addition to that, I can also come in and you'll notice that I have different settings for how the incoming email is sorted. Now, the default is what I have right now, but I could also make it so messages that have an important setting would be at the top, or unread messages would always be at the top. I also have an option to create a priority inbox or even have multiple inboxes. This is nice if you have maybe multiple emails that are coming into your Gmail account. I'm going to go ahead and keep mine with the default. Now, one of the things I really like in here that you can also apply is a reading pane. Many different email applications use a reading pane, but you'll see right here that I can have my reading pane appear on the right-hand side. And you'll notice how it reloads. This allows me, when my reading pane is open, to actually see the message on the right. There's a divider bar between that I can drag to the right or to the left. And this reading pane also, if you go up to the top and come down to the reading pane, can be placed at the bottom as well. For right now, I'm going to keep mine turned off. The final option you'll have in here is the ability to see your messages in a conversation view. This is great when you have email threads. And an email thread is where a message has been responded to and forwarded multiple times. So there are multiple emails involved in the thread. And you'll see that by default, the conversation view is turned on. I highly recommend it. So again, remember that the quick settings really allow you to make customizations to your Gmail so it's more comfortable for you to use the way you would like. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm ready to show you how to reply and forward when you're working in your Gmail. Very basic concepts when dealing with email, but you need to know where the buttons are. So the first thing I need to do is select the message that I would like to reply or forward. So I'm going to come in and just click on the message. It will open up. Now there are multiple ways to reply and forward. The first options are down here on the bottom. You'll see a reply button and a forward button. Now what's the difference? Reply means I want to send this message back with an additional message to the person that sent it to me. There's also a reply button up in the top right where you see the person's email address that the message came from. If you come to the right-hand side, you'll see a reply button there as well. And the reply button usually points to the left when you're facing your computer to indicate that you're sending the message back. So let's start with a reply. When I click on a reply, what's interesting about Gmail is the reply actually opens up at the bottom. So I can see the previous message and then I can respond. The other thing that we're seeing happen as I do this is some of the autocomplete that's built into the Google platform when it's trying to assume what I'm going to type. It can help save time. I need to finish my reply by clicking on the send button. Now, another option, and I'm going to go back to my inbox, is to forward a message. When I forward a message, I will be sending it to another person. So what I need to do is open the message up. And again, I'll see forward buttons down on the bottom. Or again, if I go up to the top of the message and go to the right of the email sender's email address, I'll see a vertical ellipses. And if I click here, there's also a forward option here. Notice forward usually has a right-facing arrow when you're looking at your computer to indicate that the message will be sent to another party. It's always important to remember when you're forwarding messages, you only want to forward content that other people should have access to. Sometimes it's easy to forward something that you shouldn't send to someone else. And of course, always remember to click on the send button after you forward or reply, just so that the message actually gets sent. All right, in the next lesson, we're going to look at how to manage and delete messages. So make sure you come back. Hey everybody, I'm ready to manage some of the content in my inbox. Managing your content is important because as more Gmail comes into your account, if you're not keeping it organized, it will take over. One of the important things to do is not to be afraid to delete content when you no longer need it. There are a couple of options. One of them is if the message is open, at the top of the message, you'll see a toolbar that includes buttons that allow you to, for example, archive the message or even put it in your spam folder. But finally, the trash can. This means to move the message to your deleted items folder, which is what I want to do. I just click on the trash can and the message will be removed from my inbox. Another option before I even open a message up is if I see a message that I don't need to spend time on, I can place it directly in my deleted items folder. All I need to do is select it on the left-hand side by filling in this checkbox. And then I can again come up here and click on the trash can, and that will also move the message into my deleted items folder. Now, how do you get to those items if you've deleted them? Over here on the left-hand side, again in the navigation pane, I'm going to come down to More. This allows me to expand the full menu out so that I can see the additional areas that are part of my inbox. And if I come down towards the bottom, I will see the trash. Anything that you place in your deleted items folder, or trash as we like to call it, will end up here. Now notice it tells me right here at the top that messages in the trash will be here for 30 days and then they're automatically deleted. So don't use this as a fail-safe for saving things you're not sure that you want to get rid of. If it's here, you've got 30 days and then it will be gone. If I see something here that I would like to put back in my inbox, I can come here and select it. There are multiple options to do this, but one of them that I like is to right-click on the message if you're on a PC. When you right-click, you'll have an option that says Move to Inbox. This will take the message and move it to my inbox where it was before I deleted it. To permanently delete something, you select the message, and then again, up here you'll have a Delete Forever. This will overrule the 30-day retention policy that's normally in place for the trash can and permanently delete the message. Just remember that cleaning up is important, and the more you keep track of the content here and spend a little bit of time each day curating your Gmail, the less time you'll spend looking for things and wishing that you'd never created a Gmail account. So it's an important habit to get into. Hey everybody, I need to be able to print one of my Gmail messages and also get help. So to start with, how do I print one of these messages? Well, first of all, I need to go to the message and click on it so that it's open. Then I'm going to go to the top right corner of the message, not my Gmail, but the message. Directly above the reply button, I'll see a small printer. This is one of the options that will take me into a print preview of the message that I have selected. Now on the right, I'll see the options for how it's going to print, including the ability to print different pages and even update the layout of the message, whether it prints in black or white, and then at the bottom I have my print button, and this will print it off. Keep in mind, I can also actually save my message as a PDF from here. This is a great way to get my message into a different format, either on paper or something that could be opened in Adobe Acrobat, for example. Now, what about getting help? And when I did go to the print, you'll notice that it opened my message in a separate browser tab. All I need to do is come in and close that browser tab. It'll take me back to my inbox. Now, from anywhere in your inbox, there is an option to access the help portion of Gmail. If you go to the top right-hand corner next to the settings cog, you're going to see a circle with a question mark in it. This will take you to the Gmail support. When you click on it, it's a drop-down menu. And if you just want to go in and look up help within a small database, you can go to the help option. This will actually take you into a little task pane. There are going to be popular resources for the help at the top, and then down towards the middle, there's actually a search tool. So right here, if I type in the type of topic that I'm looking for, like how do I preview my emails? When I click on this, again, result that it brings back, it will take me in and show me the different steps required to open up a reading pane, for example, so that I can preview my incoming email. When I'm done, all I need to do to close the help task pane is just click on it and it will close. Again, the more you use it, the easier it gets. There's also nothing wrong with going into Google and just Googling the question that you have, but just remember, be careful about what sites you go to. If you're using the built-in search tool, you'll know that you're always getting good Google-based information back. Hi everyone. In this lesson, I want to do two things. I want to format a new message in my Gmail. I also want to look at some of the settings I can control with new Gmail messages. So I'm going to come over and go to the Compose button. You'll notice that my navigation toolbar was minimized, but when I hover over Compose, it opens up. This will take me to a new message. Now, an interesting thing about the new message box is when it opens, it's quite small. We've already talked about the minimize, full screen, and close buttons, but full screen gives you a lot more room to see this new message box. At the bottom of the new message box, you're going to see two important items. One of them is the formatting toolbar that we'll talk about in just a minute. The second one is on the bottom, and this contains the send button and other important options, including the capital letter A that allows you to open and close that formatting toolbar. Now, on the far right-hand side of this toolbar is a vertical ellipses. And if you haven't figured this out yet, in most applications, the ellipses button now represents an opportunity for more options. A couple of important things you'll see in this menu include a spell check, another option for printing a new message, and at the very top, you can set up so that new messages will always default to open in this full screen view. Once you left click on that default to full screen, you'll see a check mark next to it, and it means the next time I come in and open up a new message, it always defaults to full screen. I like this because it gives me more room to type. I'm going to go ahead and enter the name of the person I'm sending my email message to. Another nice thing that, again, Gmail is good at is remembering email addresses that you've already put in so you don't have to type them in again. If you need to do a CC, remember that's on the right-hand side for carbon copy. And then, of course, always remember your subject lines, right? Now, if I type this in, I'm going to do a little bit of formatting. I want to include some formatting and a bulleted list. Now for that, I'm going to come down, make sure that my formatting toolbar is open. We'll see in the middle right that there is a bulleted list. And of course, this is going to allow me to just type in my bullets one at a time. You do this just like you would in Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or Google Docs. Now, the other thing I want to do is add a little bit of formatting. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and highlight my text. Come down, you'll see that on the formatting toolbar, I have bold button. If I really want to make something poke out, I can always highlight it and then come down. For color, I have a letter A with a line under it. This does two things. It allows me to do text color, or I could also do background color. Background color is going to be like a highlight behind the text. It can take a little bit of time for it to apply, but again, you can see how it's like a highlighter that I've applied behind. If I see any spell check issues, you'll see it get underlined. I can right click and get again a spell check correction. So formatting is really easy to use. If you'd like to update with, for example, a different font style, you'll see next to the undo button and redo button, you do have a few font choices. It's a little bit more limited, but also you can increase font sizes as well. So there are some opportunities to update formatting to make your email message look a little bit more exciting. Then I'm going to send it off. Try this out in your own Gmail account. Go in, open up a new email message. You can even send it to yourself, but practice using some of those formatting options just so you can see how they compare with maybe other applications that you've used. Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm ready to send a Gmail message with a file attachment. So I'm going to come up, open up my new message, of course, address it, and include a subject line, and then the actual text of the message. Now, the important thing when you send an attachment is to be sure you know where the attachment is stored. This attachment is stored locally on my computer's hard drive. So I'm going to come down to the bottom of my new Gmail message, right next to the send button. I will see a paperclip. Now, most email applications that we use represent attached files with the paperclip, so it's pretty easy to locate. When I click on it, I'm going to navigate to where the file is located on my computer or on a network drive, select it, and then click on Open. It will copy the attachment into my Gmail message. You can see it added down here at the bottom. Now remember that when you send an attachment, you are giving someone access to a file. A copy of that file will be sent to the recipient of this email. So it's always important to only send email attachments and information that that person has permission to access, because they will now have a copy of this file that I'm sending. I'd love to have you try this out. So open up your own Gmail and send a message to someone with an attachment in it. Just make sure it's someone you trust, and practice seeing how easy it is to send attachments through Gmail. Hi everybody, we are ready to send a link through Gmail. This is another great way to communicate information that may be outside your Gmail, like a document that's linked or also a website. I'm going to go up and compose my new message and again address it to the person I'm sending it to, include a subject line. Now, one thing that I've done ahead of time that can be helpful is I've already gone in and opened up the website that I want to create the link to. You can see it right here. It's actually the Gmail help website, but I want to include it in a message to a coworker. I have my text right here. Now, to include the actual link to the site, I'm going to come down to the bottom of my new message and come over to about the fourth button over from the left, which is the insert link button. Notice it looks a little bit different than the paperclip that you use to attach files, because here we're going to be including a link to a site or a file, not an actual attachment. I'm going to click on the button and you'll see that it opens up this box called Edit Link. Now I have two options. I can either link to a website address, this would be a URL, or an email. In this case, I want to go to a URL, but I need to include text that will actually be the link. So I'm going to go ahead and just type that in. And then right here, I need to paste in the website address. So if you already have the browser tab open for the website you want to go to, you can actually open it up, go to the URL bar, click on it to highlight, or you could left drag and Control C, or if you're on an Apple computer, Command C, right, to copy that. Then I'm going to jump back to my Gmail tab and I will come down and Control V or paste that link in. Then I'll click on OK and I'll see it right here. Now, how does this link actually work? When you come to the link, you'll notice that until you send the message, you can't actually use the link. But if you right click on it, there will be an option that you can use that will say, open this link in a new tab. This would allow you to just check the link to see that it's working. And here I can see that it's opened. So it is working correctly, and I'm going to send the message off. So anyone who receives that message will get a hyperlink that they can click on that will then take them to that site. It's a great way to share information quickly and easily, and it doesn't require you to put the entire website address in. You provide them with that hypertext link that will actually do it for them. Go ahead and try it out. Pick your favorite website and try linking it and even emailing it or Gmailing it to yourself or to a coworker. It's a great way to share information through Gmail. Hi everyone, I'm ready to attach a file to a Gmail message that's stored in my Google Drive account. This is one of the things I love about Gmail is that it comes with additional tools that really help to optimize your experience when you're trying to communicate through Gmail. And one of them is that you can actually add files as attachments that are stored in your Google Drive, which if you remember is cloud storage. Now to do this, of course, we need to open up another new message. I'm going to address it to the person I need to send it to, include a subject line,
Now down below, when I get ready to find the file, remember it's saved to my Google Drive. So rather than going to the attachment button, I'm going to come to the middle of the toolbar next to the send button and look for this triangle button. When I hover over it, you'll notice that it tells me insert files using Drive, which they mean Google Drive. This is cloud storage. When I click on it, it's going to show me the different files that are stored on my drive. You'll also see other options like files that have been shared with me by a coworker or someone else, recent files, or an opportunity to upload files. In this case, the file I want is right here in my drive. I will select it. Now I have to make a choice. This time I want to include it as a normal attachment, which means I select attachment, notice the paper clip, and then say insert. It inserts it into the message as a normal attachment, so it's being copied into the message. Another option, I'm going to go down to my insert using Google Drive again, is to select a file and actually add it as a linked file. This means that I will be giving this person not a copy of my file, but an actual link. And I'll see the link right here at the top of the document. So again, notice that the linked file looks like a hyperlink, whereas the attachment looks like a traditional attachment, but they're both coming from my Google Drive. And Gmail gives me the opportunity to choose how I will, again, share these files as an attachment or as a shared link. When I'm done, I'm going to click on send and it will send that file off. Now you'll notice because I included the file as a link, it's going to ask me who gets access. Now at this point, anyone with this link would have the ability to view this file, and that's fine. Or I could not give access. And I'm going to click on send. So when you share the file with a link, the permission to access the file is an additional feature that you have to consider. Now go in and try sharing a file from your Google Drive or attaching it. It's a great way, again, to make Gmail even more optimized. Hi, everybody. I want to be able to put an image in the actual text of my Gmail. So I'm going to come up here, address my new message, open it up, go ahead and type in the name of the person I'm sending it to. Now I want these images to actually appear within the body of my Gmail. So when someone opens the message up, they can see them. This is different than attaching them because if they're an attachment, then the attachment comes with the email, you double click on it and it will open in a photo viewing program. This will actually put the pictures in the body of the email. So what I'm going to do is come down to the bottom and actually look for the little image button that has mountains on it. It's kind of small, but it's there if you look for it. I'm going to click on it. This is the insert photo button. Now I can either have photos stored in my Google Drive, or I can come to a website, or if they're right here on my computer, I can select the files from my device. So I just need to highlight the pictures that I want to bring in. Now it has to upload the pictures and actually add them to my new message. You can see them get added here. They come in full size, and sometimes this means that they will be too big. If I click on the image, you'll notice that there are sizing handles on the corners. Additionally, at the bottom, it gives me options to either change the size of the image or even come in and add alternate text for someone who might be visually impaired, or even remove the image. I can use these to help size the image better to fit into my email, or if I want to, I can manually click on the image at the corner and drag it down and adjust its size manually. But this actually puts the image into the message. Now remember that when you add images to your message, it will greatly increase their size. So it might be a good idea to make them smaller just so that your message isn't too big. When I'm ready, I can send the message off. And again, the person that receives that Gmail message will be able to open it up and see those images inside of it. In fact, if I go to my Sent Items folder, I come right here to the message I just sent, double click on it, and we'll see that the two messages are viewable right within the actual content of the Gmail. It's a great way to quickly share something that's a visual image that you want to let someone see. Now try this out yourself. Find a picture you've taken and add it to a Gmail message and send it to someone. Hi, everybody. I'm concerned sometimes that when I send email messages or Gmail messages, I'm not sure what happens to them after they get sent. We want to talk about a thing called confidentiality mode. In Gmail, you can send messages and attachments and turn on Gmail's confidentiality mode to help protect sensitive information from unauthorized access. When you use confidential mode, basically what you can do is set an expiration date for messages and revoke access at any time. Recipients of this confidential message will have options to forward, copy, print, and download turned off. Now, how do you do this? Because it sounds pretty magic, doesn't it? You're going to come to the message. I have a new message here opened up that includes information that I want to be confidential. I don't want this content to be able to be forwarded to someone else. So on the bottom of the message, I'm going to come down to the right-hand side and look for the padlock with a clock on it. This allows me to toggle on my confidential mode. When I click on this, the confidential mode box opens up. You'll see things here that it will allow me to set an expiration date on this message. Additionally, I can decide whether I'm going to include passwords and if there is no SMS password or if there is an SMS passcode included. Now, if I choose no SMS passcode, recipients of this Gmail, I should say recipients using the Gmail app will be able to open it directly. If they don't have a Gmail, they will get an emailed passcode. If I choose to do an SMS passcode, recipients will get a passcode by text message. We need to make sure that we enter the recipient's phone number, not your own if you do this. I'm going to go ahead and just say no SMS passcode and click on save. Now you'll see here this again, little alarm comes up, notification, letting me know that whoever I've sent this message to will not be able to forward, copy, print, or download the email, which is exactly what I want. Notice that the confidential mode button is highlighted and I'll click on send. Again, this helps me to send messages with a peace of mind knowing that the message will stay confidential just between myself and the person I've sent it to. And in this case, it will also expire after that month of time. Again, try sending a message to someone with the confidential mode on so you can see how easy it is to do. Hi everyone, I want to send a signature with my new Gmail messages. For this, I need to access the settings gear of my Gmail account. So I'm going to go to the top right-hand corner. This will take me to the settings task pane. I need to go down to see all settings. Especially when you're using Gmail for work, it's important to include contact information like cell phone numbers, job titles, ways to get a hold of you that people can see in your messages. This is why signatures can be so crucial. Now from here, you're going to see tabs at the top. You should be on the General tab and then scroll down for quite a while, almost to the bottom. On the left-hand side, you'll see a section that says Signatures. I'm going to click on the Create New button, give my new signature a name, and yes, you can have multiple signatures in your Gmail account. Then in the box on the right, I'm going to paste in or type in my signature information. This can include my name, my email address. Now, if I would like to include formatting, I need to use the toolbar underneath to update, for example, the font style and the font size. I can also include color if I want. To apply text color, I'll come to the letter A button, find the text color that I want. And for anything like bold or italics, I just, again, need to use the formatting toolbar. When I'm finished, I also need to make sure that I apply this new signature for new emails and replies and forwards. The very bottom, I'm going to save my changes. This is very critical because if you close that box without doing the save changes, your new signature will not be available to you. Now to see the signature, I'm going to compose a new message. I'm going to address it and notice my new signature is here. And it includes the formatting that I selected for it. Now let's say that I decide I don't want to include this particular signature or I'd like to include a different one. On the body of the new message, I'll see a toolbar that includes a pen. This is the Insert Signature button. If I click on this, it would let me turn off the signature, or if I had additional signatures, they would show up in this list and I could pick them. When I'm ready, I'll send the message off. And I set up my default so that if I go in to forward a message or reply to a message, You'll notice here that when I go in to do that, that it would still include my signature at the very bottom of whatever information I'm sending. So again, signatures are a great way to really customize your experience and make sure that the people that you're sending messages to have a way to contact you. Go into your own Gmail account and try setting up a signature of your own. Welcome back. It's time to talk about spell check. It's the thing we don't want to think about, but when it goes wrong, it's bad. So I want to show you first of all where your spell check settings in your Gmail account are located. I'm going to come up and go to the settings cog and click on it, and of course open up See All Settings. This way you can go into the in-depth settings. Under the General tab, I'm going to scroll down about halfway, and I'll see that there are kind of three important areas. The first one is grammar. This is where it suggests good grammar in your Gmail, spelling suggestions, and then autocorrect. This is where if you make a common spelling error, it will automatically fix it for you. If any of these bug you, you can turn them off. But I like these settings. I'm going to keep them exactly the way they are because I'm not changing anything. I'm just going to click on the inbox button and go back. Let's say, for example, that I am responding to a message. So I'm going to open the message up, come down and click on a reply. And then I'll, of course, get my text into the message. Now, one place where you'll see spell check is when you make a spelling error, like you see the one here, which is on purpose, by the way. You can right click on it and you'll see spelling suggestions. If there's one that you want, you can click on it and it will fix it. Another one that's really common is where you, of course, will ask for a spelling correction by doing a spell check. And for that, you can turn on spell check yourself. I'm going to come down here to, again, the bottom of the message, click on the vertical ellipses, and go into check spelling. This initiates a spell check. You can see here how it's highlighted the word that I've misspelled. I can right click on it and pick the correct spelling. Additionally, if I want to recheck, if I don't trust the spell check, I can click right here. And notice that next to the recheck button on the bottom right-hand corner of the message, you do have an arrow that allows you to actually decide what language the spell check is being done. So English is not the only language that's supported by Gmail. When I'm done, I can just click on the send button and my message has been spell checked and sent off. So try it out in one of your messages just so you can feel solid with doing spell check because it is important and we want to make sure that our Gmail makes us look smart and not the other option. Howdy everybody. Let's set up an out of office reply or what's called a vacation responder in Gmail so that when we do get to go on vacation, our Gmail is going to be partially curated for us while we're gone. I'm going to come up to the settings cog in the top right hand corner and go into my defaults for my Gmail account. We'll go down to See All Settings. And from this box, you want to make sure that you're under the General tab and all the way at the bottom. Now, of course, by default, the vacation responder is turned off. To turn it on, you need to place a dot and then include the date when you want your vacation to begin. If you want to include a last day, you can do that using the calendar or typing the date in. Also, a subject line, because this is going to be an email response to incoming messages. Then down below, you can actually include the text of the message. Notice there's a toolbar here that you can use to have it formatted. Now, it's important to understand how this works. It's going to send an automatic reply when someone sends you a message. If you have someone that sends you many messages, they're only going to get one automatic reply every 4 days because we don't want them to get that same reply over and over again. Also, this checkbox at the very bottom would only send the response to someone who's in your contacts. Sometimes we have a lot of junk mail that comes into our Gmail account, so this would keep it from sending them a vacation response when I'm not around. It's also important to know that your vacation replies will start at 12 a.m. on the first day that you enter in here and end at 11:59 p.m. at the end date, unless you want to end it earlier. In most cases, your vacation response is only sent to people the first time they message you because, as we already mentioned, it starts over every 4 days. Now, a couple of things also to keep in mind with this is that if you edit your vacation response, it will send another one when someone emails you again. So there is a chance they could get two if you set up the initial response and then do another one. Now, when I'm done setting up my vacation response, it's important that I click on Save Changes. And again, notice that it will set up to end on whatever day I pick. And then I'll know that it's turned on, and while I'm gone, I can know that people will know that I won't be answering these messages immediately. So it's an important thing to do. It's also considered polite, and it will save you a lot of time having to answer emails that you didn't have time to deal with because you were on vacation. So try it out just so you can see where it is and be familiar with it, and that way when you need to use it, you'll be ready to go. Hey everybody, one of my pet peeves about email is when I have to create the same email over and over again. There is a way around this in Gmail, and it's called creating a template. The template basically becomes a copy of that email message that you can reuse whenever you need to send it. The first thing we need to do is turn templates on in our Gmail account. So we're going to go up to the settings cog in the top right-hand corner. You should be getting really good at that by now. Click on it and go to See All Settings. Now this time we are going to go to a different tab. At the top of the settings box, you'll see that there are several different tabs. Go over to the right, almost to the end, and find Advanced. Once you're here, you will see that down towards the middle, there is a template section. In new Gmail accounts, it's turned off or disabled, as you can see. We're going to enable this so that we can start creating template emails, and we'll say Save Changes. Now, once you're done doing that, you need to create one of the emails that you want to create into a template before the template can be made. So I'm going to go up to the Compose button and open up my message and just get it ready. The person I send it to is not as important as the text in the subject line. And of course, my signature is included because I have signatures turned on. Now to make this email into a template, I'm going to come down to the bottom and go to the vertical ellipses, More Options. I'll now see a new opportunity here called Templates. And what I want to do is come into this menu and say Save Draft as a new template. I need to give my new template a name. It will default to give it the name of the subject line, which works great for me, and I'll click on Save. Now I can go ahead and send this message off. Another month goes by, and it's time to recreate that same email. I'm going to go up to the Compose button, but before I type anything in, I'm going to come down to the bottom of the new email message and go to the More Options button. Templates will be here. Any templates that you've created will show up under the Insert Template menu. There's also a way to delete any templates you no longer need. I'm going to select the template that I want. It fills it out, but it does not include the recipients of the message. This is where I will need to type in the names of the people that I need to send this message to. Once I do that, I can send it off. The thing about templates is they'll save a lot of time and create consistencies in those redundant emails that you need to send every month or every week, especially around work topics. So feel free to go in and try these out because they can be a big time saver. Welcome back, everybody. I'm ready to show you a really great tool to help you organize your Gmail. It's called a label. Now, in other email programs, you might have stored email in folders, but in Gmail, you can use labels to categorize your email. Labels are like folders, but they have a twist. You can apply several labels to an email. Then later, you can find it by clicking on any of its labels over in the navigation pane. You can also search by labels. The great thing about these is that you're the one that's in control of them. So first of all, how do you apply a label to any of your messages? I'm going to come over here and just select the message. When I do this, I'll see above my inbox list a new toolbar populate. On the far right hand side, I'm going to see a white little ticket button. This is the label button. When you click on it, you're going to see that you can search for labels. There are also some pre-built labels that are provided by Google, but down at the bottom, you can create a new label, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to select Create New. I'm going to create some labels for projects that I work on. I type in the name and click on create. Now the label has been applied. I didn't get to pick the color or anything, but we can see in my inbox how it's showing up right next to the name of the particular message. Now let's say that I'd like to customize that label. I have a few different options. If I come back up to the labels menu, I'll see that I can go down and manage labels. This will actually take me into my settings list. So again, this is the settings that I can also access from the cog in the top right-hand corner. This will show me my current, again, availability of labels, and any custom labels show up down at the bottom. Now to leave this menu, I'm just going to click on my inbox again. Another easier way to work with labels is to actually come over to the navigation pane. Right under the More button, you'll see a Labels section with a plus sign next to the word Labels. If I click on this, this will automatically bring up the new label box. And from here, I can just type in the name of the label I want, and it will add it to my labels menu. Now to customize any of these pre-built labels or labels that I've created, I'm going to come to the label, hover over it, and go to the ellipses. This will let me adjust the color of the label. And you can add custom colors, by the way. If you look here, you'll see that there's an add custom color option. A couple of other options that you're going to see here, besides being able to actually customize the color of the label, is you can also decide if the label will show over here in this labels menu, if it's going to show up in the message list, this is your inbox, or if you'd like to edit or remove the label. Now, if you remove the label, this is like deleting it. Let's go ahead and set the label color on this message as well. So now I have my M800 and my M900. And now if I want to apply the label to more than one message, I'm going to select multiple messages, come up to the labels button, click on it, and I can just check off the label I want to apply. And I'll notice that it gets applied to multiple messages. So go into your Gmail and try creating some labels of your own. Hi everyone, welcome back. We want to spend a little bit more time managing labels and applying them to our Gmail messages. Now in my inbox right now, I have 3 custom labels that I have created. Also, look at the second message in my inbox and you'll see that you can actually apply as many labels to a specific Gmail message as you'd like. A really great way to do this on a PC is to go to the message that you'd like to apply the label to. Right click on it, and fourth from the bottom, you'll see a label as option. This is a great way to go because it actually shows you the labels you currently have created. You can check off the labels that you'd like to apply. Make sure you click on the apply button at the bottom. Checking the box off will not actually apply the label until you click on apply. Now, if any of these labels get edited, it will edit them on all the conversations or Gmails they've been applied to. For example, I'm going to come to my M700 label. I'm going to go up to the ellipses next to it and update its label color. When I do this, notice it's updated everywhere where it's been used. Another great thing about the labels is that if you want to use them to filter the email in your inbox, the labels are one of the fastest ways to do it. If I come over here and click on any of the labels, it actually filters for just the messages that have that label applied to them. So it's a great way for me to be able to find specific messages without having to put them in folders. If I want to go to an unfiltered list, I can either come up to the search bar and click on the X next to the showing filter, or I can come over and just click on my inbox again and it will turn the filter off. Now finally, what if I delete one of these labels? Will it delete the emails or the Gmails associated with that label? I'm going to come to my M800 label, go to the ellipses, and come down and say remove label. This is the same as deleting it. When I remove a label, it will tell me it's removing it from 2 conversations. That would be, again, 2 items in my inbox, and the label will be deleted. But deleting a label will never actually delete the Gmail messages associated with that label. So again, labels are an excellent way to filter for content and allow you to categorize your Gmail content with categories that are your very own. So try out making some of your own labels and then organizing your Gmail with them. Hi everyone. We need to talk about two important markers in your navigation pane that cause a lot of confusion. If you look over here in my Google account, you'll see that I have a starred option, and then there's also one called important that I'm going to show you how to turn on in just a moment. Now, why are these both here? Because when I see a star, it makes me think I need to pay attention to it. The star marker is an alternative method for you to basically mark messages as being important to you. You can flag them yourself. Now, important is different because it is actually designed by Gmail to mark as important for you. It's something that's automatically done, and it is a label. Gmail uses an algorithm and watches what you do. Now, you can also manually mark messages as important, but Gmail learns as it goes with the important label. Now, if I don't see both in this list, how can I turn them both on? We're going to come right here to the navigation pane, make sure it's all the way open, and go down to More. When I come down, I'll see that important is here. If for some reason it isn't, go down to where you see Manage Labels under the trash and come into the Settings area and the Labels tab. What you want to do is make sure that anything you want to be able to see clearly is basically marked as Show, which means it will show up in the menu over here. And all you need to do when you're done making those changes is just click back on the inbox and it will show your email again. Now I see starred and I see important. Now to apply, for example, a starred email, which is meaning I am manually marking it as important, all I need to do is come over here and I'll see a star next to the select message option. I click on this and it fills it in. Now remember that with important, it will automatically apply that. But if it doesn't, if a message is important to me and Gmail has skipped it, I can actually come right here to this little icon that's to the right-hand side of the star, and this will mark it as important. And notice that when it has an important or a starred status, you'll actually see the marker fill in with a different color. Now, what's the use of this? Let's say later on, I need to see all of my starred marker emails. I'm going to come right here to starred and click on it in the navigation pane. Any messages that have the star applied to them will be filtered. Also, notice up in my search bar, it will say is : starred. Now, if I want to see any of the important messages that either I or Gmail have marked for me, I can come down and click on important. But remember, with the important status, this is something that Gmail will actually do for you automatically. Now, to turn one of those settings off, I'm going to return back to my inbox list. All I have to do to unstar something is just click on the star, and all I have to do to unimportant something is click on it, and it will remove that option from the message. But these two markers are available for you to use as you want inside of Gmail. And don't be afraid to try them out because they're really easy to apply. Hi, I need to make sure that before this message is sent, I can schedule when it will actually be sent. Because by default, as soon as I click on the send button at the bottom of this new message, it's going to go out to that person that it's addressed to. What I'm going to do to schedule the send is come to the arrow next to the send button. This is magic. When you click on it, it will allow you to schedule when the message will actually be sent out. I'm going to schedule this message to actually be sent on Monday morning. Notice I could also actually come in and pick a date and time that I want just by typing it into the box and saying schedule send. Now, how can I see messages that have been scheduled after I've set them up? Over in the navigation pane, make sure it's all the way expanded, there is a section for scheduled messages. When you click on this, it will show you any of your messages that are scheduled to be sent out at a specific time. Not only that, it will show you the time of day or the date when they're scheduled. Now, if you actually come in and click on the message, it will open it up, and notice that you have the opportunity to cancel having that message sent at that time. It doesn't actually delete the message though. It opens it back up and allows you to come back down and reschedule when you want the message to be sent. And so I'm going to go ahead and just say, hey, let's send it tomorrow. And as long as the messages stay in this menu, they will be sent out at their established date and time, and you don't have to worry about them. It's really great because it gives you more control over when something is actually received by the person you're sending it to. Go into your own Gmail and try it out. Hi, have you ever had a really long week and you get that email that you just don't want to deal with? Well, first of all, I'm going to open that email up. Here's the email. Notice it has a couple of attachments in it. Remember, with attachments, you can easily come underneath and download, or even have those attachments added to your Google Drive account, or you can even go in and edit them using Google Slides. You can see that this will depend on the type of file. This is a PowerPoint, so that's why I get the edit with Google Slides. But even if I just want to preview the particular attachment, I can click on it and it will preview for me, so I can look at it. And then if I click on the back arrow, it takes me back to the message. Now, I definitely know I can't deal with this right now, so I want to use the snooze feature in Gmail. What I'm going to do is come to the top of the message where I see again the toolbar for managing the message. And I'm going to come into the middle to where I see the clock. This is the snooze button. It takes this message and allows me to either pick a specific date and time when I want to deal with this message, or I can pick one. I'm just going to go ahead and say later today. And notice that I can do this with multiple messages. Another option for snoozing is to right-click on the message, and you'll see a snooze option in the menu as well. And again, I can pick either a specific date and time, like I can say Monday, I want to deal with this. Now, after a message has been snoozed, where can you go to see your snoozed content? Over in the navigation pane, you'll see that same clock. And when you click on it, you'll see any messages that you've snoozed. You'll also see the date and time when they've been marked to be, again, put back into your inbox so that you pay attention to them. If you ever want to edit this, you can actually just go to the date and time that's shown and the snooze button, and you can come in and say unsnooze. It will remove the message from your snooze box and put it back into your inbox. So snooze messages are a way to let something take a nap or snooze so that you don't have to deal with it. Try this out. It's a great way to sometimes delay stress. Hey everybody, there's nothing worse than not being able to find a message that you need to in your Gmail box. So it's great to remember that the search mail at the top is a very powerful tool for searching and filtering. Let's start with just a simple keyword search. I can click here, type in the name of the person that I want to find all content from. Now notice as I do this, it actually instinctually gives me option. Does the message have an attachment? Was it sent in the last 7 days? Was it from me? I'm going to go ahead and say has attachment, and then I'm going to hit the enter key on my computer. This will go through and find any messages that included Diego. Notice how his name is also included, and have attachments. Remember, it's both. To clear the search, I'm going to click on the X. Now, if you really want a powerful way to make sure your searches are successful, before you type in your keywords, come to the right-hand side and look at search options. These allow you to specify if it's a specific message from a person. And as I type in a person's name, it will actually select them from my contacts. If there's a specific to or subject line, if it has a specific size, a specific date, and when I'm ready, I can click on search. And notice it found exactly the message that I was looking for, and now I can double click on it and open it up. Now, you can also use keywords when you perform a search. So if I come in here and I type the word from and then a colon, I can actually say who the message was from. And I'll say, for example, Megan in this case. And notice it even selects her name. And I can say has an attachment, and then I can hit the enter key to perform the search. And again, it's found the message that I'm looking for. If I need to refine my search even more, there's an advanced search option that takes me back to the pane where I could go ahead and actually add more detail to the search. And again, when I'm done, I'm just going to click on the X and go back to my inbox to clear the search out. Try searching on your own, because what I find is the more you do searches, the more comfortable you're going to get with how Gmail goes about them. Hi everyone. Now we need to talk about filtering and sorting your inbox. Now to start with, filters we've already used. We applied labels previously in the course, and remember, once a label has been applied to a message, you can come to the navigation pane, click on the label, and the label will filter your inbox by the messages it's been applied to. We also explored some of the built-in labels that serve as filters that are part of the Gmail platform. The starred label that you can apply, the snoozed label, the important label, and the scheduled label. These are all built-in labels that you can apply to messages that allow you to understand different things about them. But what if you want a filter that will be saved and do something for you? In this case, we're going to go up to the search bar and to the right-hand side to the search options or the advanced search options. From here, I'm going to type in the criteria. Anytime a message comes from a specific person, I want to create a filter that I can use. I'm going to click on create filter, but this filter will actually do something for me. What I'd like it to do, and notice some of the different options. I can archive the message, automatically star it, or apply a label. And then I'll click on create filter. So whenever a message matches that criteria, so in this case, a message from that person, then I would like that particular filter, and in this case, rule to be applied to it. Now, how do I edit or get rid of those filters? I'm going to need to go back to my Gmail settings. And this time I'm actually going to come to all settings and go to the filters and blocked addresses tab. In here, any filters that I have created for incoming messages will show up in this list. I can check them off, and notice there's an edit option that would take me back in to edit the filter. Or there's also going to be, when I'm in there, I'm going to go back in really quick, an option to delete the filter so that it will no longer run. So not only is this a filter, it's also something that will perform a task for me in my inbox. So I also like to call these rules because they filter, but they also apply something. In this case, it was a label that was being applied to that message. Feel free to play with these, but remember, they can impact the content of your inbox, so use them carefully. Hi, it's not uncommon to want to apply a filter to messages that are already in your inbox. So what I'm going to do is select the message and come up to the, again, toolbar at the top and go to the More Options or vertical ellipses button. Here I'm going to select Filter Messages like these. Now it already knows this message is from, again, this particular coworker. I could include additional criteria, but I'm going to select Create Filter. And then again, I'm going to select what I want it to do. Apply a label, delete the message, mark it as important, and then I'll click on Create Filter. What I'll notice is that it will actually apply that. And again, that filter will be running in my inbox. And you can see down here, it even tells me I've created a filter. So you can go back into settings and edit those filters after you've created them. Hi, everybody. What about all those emails you get that you don't want? You have some options. I'm going to go back to my inbox. Let's say something that looks suspicious. You can actually block the message and report it as spam. To do this, I'm going to open the message up. Remember, don't click on any attachments. Come to the top of the message and I'll actually see a report spam button. Also, you don't even have to open the message up. If you just select it and come to the top, you'll see, again, it looks like a little stop sign with an exclamation point in it. This will add the message to your spam folder. Now, what Google does with spam is it will actually analyze the emails and it goes through and makes sure that you don't get impacted by them. When you go to your spam folder, you'll see messages that you've marked as spam there. Now, let's say that maybe it was an accident. You can select the message and either say delete forever or not spam. This will remove it from your spam folder and put it back in your inbox. Another option is to make a message so that the person is blocked. To do this, you're again going to open the message up and come to the top right-hand corner next to the reply button. You'll see a vertical ellipses. This will give you a list of options for dealing with this message. And one of them is to come down and say, if you look at this list, it actually gives me an opportunity to block messages from this particular email account. Now, once the message has been blocked, you'll notice it tells me future messages from this email will be marked as spam. So I'm going to click on block. It shows me here. Now I can either move the message from spam or I will unblock the sender. Unblocking would mean that I would start getting messages from that email account. But it's really important to remember that you can get dangerous content coming into your Google account. So being aware of suspicious messages and properly managing them is very important. So protect yourself, be smart. If something doesn't look right, don't open it, put it in your spam folder or delete it. And don't be afraid to report it, especially if you're using Gmail for work. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this part 1 of how to use Google's Gmail. We've spent time setting up a Gmail account. We've also looked at how easy it is to create new messages, add attachments to those messages. And not only that, we've also explored being able to do settings in our Google account to set it up the way we want it to run. We've also looked at being able to create labels and assign those labels to our different Gmail messages, and then using those labels to actually filter our inbox. Not only that, we've also spent time looking at how to search and filter your Gmail account. You're now ready to start sending Gmail. And please join us for the second portion of this course where we talk about how to use the chat and Google Meet features, also working with Google Contacts and your Google Calendar. So there's even more great content. So come back and join us for that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Google Gmail Fundamentals Part 2 course. My name is Elissa Smith, and in this course, we're going to go beyond the actual email part of Gmail. Did you know that when you have a Google account, you can do things like keep track of Google contacts? In this course, we're going to show you how. You can also have a calendar associated with your Gmail account. In this course, we're going to look at how you can create, edit, and manage your Google Calendar. In addition to that, a Gmail account also comes with a chat feature. You can even track tasks that are associated with your Google account, including notes. So in this course, we're going to look at how to knock the top off of just sending email through your Gmail account and look at all these other great components that come with having a Google account and are easy to get to from Gmail. Hi, everyone. I want to introduce you to some really great features available through your Gmail account called Chat, Meet, and Spaces. Now, why do these 3 additional features exist? It's because Gmail is not always the most efficient way to communicate. On average, email takes about 8 business hours to get a response from. So when you need to connect with someone faster, that's where the Google Chat, Meet, and Spaces features help you out. Now, first of all, in your Gmail account, you will see over on the left-hand side in the navigation pane that if you click on more, you can access a chats area from there. But what about the Meet and also the additional feature of being able to have a Google Space? You have to turn those areas on. To do that, we're going to come up to the settings gear in the top right-hand corner and click on it. Now, there are 2 different ways to go about getting both the chat and meet features available, and this will also activate the spaces area. If you come under the quick settings menu, you'll see that in apps in Gmail, there's a chat and meet area at the very top. If you come in and select customize, it just brings up a pop-up window where you can check off both features. When you click on done, you'll need to reload your Gmail app. This will refresh, and you'll notice that on the left-hand side of your navigation pane, you're now going to have an additional task pane. But again, it's something that you can expand and collapse the other part of your Gmail navigation with. This includes the Meet feature, the Spaces feature, and the Chat feature. Now, what exactly are these? The Chat feature is basically a place where you can chat with either people through Gmail or other people in your organization. Then you have the Spaces area. The Spaces area is going to be a place where you can communicate with 1 or more people. It's often used in an organization. It's a central place also where people can share files, assign tasks, and stay connected. Now, the third area that you're going to see is the Google Meet feature, and this is the ability to basically meet with someone online. So with a Google account, you can create video meetings, invite up to 100 participants, and meet up for 60 minutes per meeting at no cost using the Google Meet feature. Now, I want to show you one more way that you can turn this on and off. Through your Gmail account, I'm going to come back up to the settings gear. When I click on settings, I'm going to come up to see all settings. This will take me again into the settings that we explored a lot in the Gmail Fundamentals Part 1. So if you haven't taken that course yet, do it. But you'll see that at the top there are tabs and there's a chat and meet area. When I click on this, it allows me to go in and turn on the Google Chat and also the Google Meet. Now, when I do that, you'll see that over in the navigation pane, the Spaces area is automatically part of that experience. So it comes with it. And remember that these 2 areas, actually 3 areas, are not turned on in your Gmail account by default. So you will need to come here into settings, which we showed you, and dot both Google Chat and Google Meet, and then make sure you click on Save Changes. Go into your own Gmail account and turn them on so you can explore with us in future lessons. Hi everyone, I'd like to be able to get to the chat and spaces features of my Gmail account, but not have to be in my Gmail inbox while I do it. For this, I can actually open up the chat portion of my Gmail account separate from my inbox. A couple of different ways to do this. One of them is to go to the top right-hand corner and use the waffle button. Click on it and I will see that chat is actually one of the many applications that come with a Google account. When I click on this, it will open up a new browser tab in whatever browser I'm using. It'll say chat at the top, and I'll see that the chat feature of my Google account will now be enabled. Now, there aren't any chats in here yet, but that's because I haven't created any. As I start creating them, I'll see more. Also notice below in the navigation pane an area for spaces. These are those group or organizational conversations where I want to manage additional content with my chats. Now, another way to do this same thing is to go up and add a new browser tab, and then you're going to type in right there chat.google.com. Now, if you're already logged into your Gmail account, this will open up your chat area associated with your Google account and take you to the exact same place. Either way, it's a great way to get in and again, be able to work with the chat and spaces features of a Google account without having to be part of your Gmail. But remember, from your Gmail, once you enable it, you can also get to chats and spaces just by coming over here to the far left-hand side navigation and clicking on them, and this will actually take you to that area separate from your inbox, and it's a lot faster than trying to open the new tabs in your Google account. Now go into your own Google account and explore this, see what you prefer. In the next lesson, we're going to look at how to actually create some chats. Hi everyone, I want to be able to send my first chat from my Gmail account. So I do have the chat and meet features of my Gmail account enabled. I'm going to come over to the left-hand side to the navigation pane and click on chat. This is a fantastic way to actually go from your inbox to your chats. Now, a couple things about sending a chat. To use Google Chat, the person that you're going to be chatting with can be outside your organization, but they need to have a Google account. So they need to be a Google Workspace user or have an account that ends with Gmail or a non-Gmail Google account. If the external account is a Google Workspace user, their administrator would have to turn on Google Chat for their org. So there's a little bit of background work that has to be done for this to work. But to send a new chat, notice right here, there's a new chat button right below my Gmail icon, and also right here in the very middle. Of course, I'm going to need someone to chat with. And I actually have a recent coworker I've chatted with, and I can select them from my recent list. Otherwise, I need to actually enter in either the space name or the person's Gmail address right here at the top. I'm going to click, and it's going to take me in and show me any past conversations I've had with this person. And then right here, I can actually type in my message. Now, this is not like email because this is like chatting on your cell phone. And by the way, there is a Google Chat app that you can install on your mobile device. It works on both Android and Apple phones. So I just type in my message and hit the send button, which is this little icon right here that looks kind of like a paper airplane. Now my coworker or the person I'm chatting with will get that message and they can respond. Now, another great thing about Google Chat is you can see them typing. I can actually see the person who's responding typing. Now, the other great thing that you can do as well is respond instead with not, for example, text, but notice here on the right that you can actually respond with emojis Giphies, and other content. I'm going to use an emoticon. And sometimes an emoticon can say a lot more, for example, than words. So we're having a chat conversation, and this is different than an email conversation. And again, the way I got here was from the navigation pane of my Gmail account. Try sending a chat to someone that you work with or someone that you know that has a Gmail account and play with this feature. Again, it's a very powerful way to have communication that's a lot faster than an email message. Hi everyone. The more you use Google Chats, you'll see that they are a really great way for quick, real-time communication. But sometimes they can overpower your Gmail, and sometimes you just need to get rid of them. So there are two options when it comes to turning off a chat or deleting it. What I want to do to basically turn off a chat is I'm going to come over into my chat pane where I can see past chats. When I come over to the right, I'll see a vertical ellipses. Now, if you've taken the part one, you're going to know that these are the More button of your Gmail account. When you click on this, you'll see different options to help you manage your Gmail account, one of which is to hide the conversation. This will just remove it. It's not deleting it, but removing it from your chat history. The other important thing to note before I do this is that my chat history is turned on. This means that they will be saved. If it's not turned on, they're not saved with your Google account. So I'm going to click on Hide Conversation, and it's gone. Now notice here, it gives me an option to find a chat. I will need the name of the person I chatted with to find it. So I type their name in or find them from my frequents list for contacts, and you'll notice that it puts that chat conversation back over here in my list of recent chats. To delete a chat, you're going to come to the left-hand side again, or I should say to the vertical ellipses, it's on the right, and you'll see there is a delete conversation button. When I click on this, it deletes the entire conversation. But notice it tells me here that other participants, the people that have been in the chat with me, will still be able to view it. The only person who will have it deleted is me. Also, it's important to notice that this is a permanent thing, so only do it when you need to. When I click on delete, it'll be gone. So in a normal Gmail account, you can hide chats, you can delete chats. You can't, however, edit them, and this can be a little bit frustrating. You can only edit or delete a Google chat if you use a chat on a work or school account. Now, I showed you here that I could delete it, but I couldn't edit it. So again, it's a limited functionality in a normal Gmail account that's not associated with, for example, my work or school. Welcome back, everybody. We want to show you a feature called Google Spaces. Now, people will ask, why do you have both Google Chat and Google Spaces? Well, the Gmail and Chat app is more for text-based communication, whereas Spaces can allow you and the groups that you work with to communicate in threads, upload files, assign tasks. So it's a much more complex application than just sending messages that the Google Chat provides. And your Google Chats can also be part of your experience inside Spaces. So I'm inside my Gmail account, and you'll see that over here on the left, I have an area called Spaces. And another way to check for this is to make sure that your chat is turned on. Remember, you can go up to the cog in the top right-hand corner to double check that your chat's on. But now that we can see the Spaces area over on the left, I want to create a space. So to do this, I'm going to come over to Spaces and click. Now, I don't have any spaces yet. This will be my first one. So you'll see that when I come in, it gives me two options. One is to create a space. The second one is to browse existing spaces. Since this is our first one, we're going to create a space. So I'm going to click on Create a Space. It wants me to give it a name. I'm going to call mine Project ABC. Notice that you can add a description. That's of course arbitrary, but it's always nice if the space is going to be used, especially for a group who may not necessarily know what it's for. Now, importantly, down below, I need to enter in the names or emails of the people that will be part of my space. Now, there are two places this can come from. The first one are your Google contacts, the people that you've saved that you send email to and communicate with through your Google Suite. The second one would be email addresses. You'll see right here that anyone that's been added to my contacts is available, so I can select their name. I could also copy and paste an email address in. And also, if you were to start typing someone's name in and they were actually in your contacts, it would also find them for you. Now, additionally, I need to click on Create at the bottom. This is what will actually make my new space. I can always add more people to the space later on, but now the space is created. Go into your own Google account and try making a space of your own, and join us as we're going to continue our journey looking at how you can share files and communicate in this area in your Google Suite. Hi everybody, welcome back. I want to show you how to add an additional member to your Google Space and also how to start some threaded chats. Now from my Gmail, I'm going to come over here to the left-hand navigation pane and locate the Spaces icon. This will open up again another area where you can see any existing spaces you've created, or also at the top, create a new space. I'm going to go ahead and click on my Project ABC space that I recently created. Now from here, you're going to see ongoing conversations, and then at the top, it shows me the name of the space and how many members are currently in my workspace or space. I'm going to click on the arrow next to the title, and you'll see a drop down to help you manage the space. The very top is a Manage Members option. This is where you can go in to see who the current members of your Google Space are and add new people. Now, who can be part of your space? Usually it needs to be someone with a Gmail at the end of their, again, email account. I'm going to click on Add and type in the member of another person who's going to add or become a part of my space. Now, they will get an invitation, and once they accept that invitation, then they'll be added to my space. So once I click on Add, I won't see them get added until they've accepted that invitation. Now, I also want to contribute to one of the conversations that's ongoing between space members. So what I'm going to do is go back to my space by clicking on its name. You'll see the current conversation thread. Now, if I would like to respond to an inside thread, you'll see that right here, it shows me that within this thread, there are some additional replies. When I click on this, it opens up a secondary menu over on the right that shows me I'm in a threaded conversation pane. I can add to it just by adding it into this pop-out pane. Anyone who is in, again, the space can contribute to the conversation, but if I ever want to close it back up again, I can either click on the X in the top right corner, or I can open it up again just by coming right here and seeing how many replies there are to that specific piece of information. Now, we'd love to have you try this out. So in your own space, try creating a threaded chat and also try adding some new members to the group. Hi everybody, I'm ready to share a file in my Google Spaces area. So what I've done is I've come back into my space and I'm starting a new conversation. I'm going to go ahead and paste in some text to preface the file that I'll be sharing through my, again, chat area. And then I just want you to notice that on the right-hand side of the conversations area, you have formatting buttons. You can also add emoticons, Giphies, but then the fourth button over from the right is the Upload File button. This allows you to find a file that's saved locally on your computer or network, navigate to that file, and then actually upload it into your chat. So this can take a little bit of time depending on the size of the file, but you can see right here it even shows me the type of file it is. It's a simple Excel file, and it even shows me a preview when possible. To actually send it, I'm going to come right here and click on the Send button. Now, who will have access to this file? That's a really good question. Anyone who's in my space will now have access to this file. You can see here that it's been shared again in my chat of my space. Now, if I come to the file after it's been posted, I can click on it, and where it can, it will actually preview what the file looks like for me so that I can see it. Notice at the top, there's a button here that will allow me to go back to my Google Spaces area. In addition, I have a print button and also an opportunity to download the file. So when I share a file this way, it's actually, in my opinion, better than emailing it because we can all have access to the file without actually having to download it to our device. And it's a great way to collaborate. Now that the file's been shared, everyone again who is part of this Google Space will have access to the file. Again, go into your own Google Space, try it out. It's a really great way to add collaboration to the communication that you're already having inside of your Spaces area. Hey everybody, welcome back. What if you have a task that you need people to work on within your Google Space? And what happens to those files that you share in the chat of your Google Space? Well, let's take a look. I'm in one of my Google Spaces, and you'll see that at the top, I actually have a chat button. That's where you spend most of your time when you're communicating. But as files are shared, as they have been in this Google Space, you'll see there's also a second tab for files. So even though you share the file through the Google Space area, it's actually stored in the files area. This is kind of like group cloud storage where everyone in the space can have access to these files. And it makes it a little bit easier to find the files if you come here. So any of the files that I share through the chat can be accessed here. Notice over on the right, in addition, it gives me an opportunity right here. You'll see to actually view these files in the chat. So if I click right here, it takes me in and shows me where the file was originally added to the space area. Now, another question comes up when we need to get something done. How do we track that in our space? Well, there's also a tab for that called Tasks. And notice that if I come down, I'm going to see that in my chat area, it's actually already mentioned 2 different tasks that have been already added. So when you add a task to the task area of your space, it mentions it here inside the chat area. So if people aren't focused on the Tasks tab, they can still know that tasks are being added. When you go to the Tasks area, you'll see tasks, the dates that they need to be, again, completed, and who they've been assigned to within the space. In the top right-hand corner, there's a button that will allow you to update the order, again, of the different tasks you're seeing. By default, they're going to be listed in ascending order with the newest tasks at the top. Now, what I want to do here is come right here to the top to add a new task, and I just need to type in the name of my task. There's an additional space to add details, and then over on the right, I need to pick the date and time that the task will be due. Notice you pick the date, and then down below you can pick a specific time. The time is optional. You don't have to do that, but if you want to be that specific, you can be. Then the other great thing is every member of your space can be assigned this task. So I'm actually going to assign this task to my coworker, and when I'm finished, I'm going to click on Add. Now I see it get added here, but also if I wanted to go out and see where it's been mentioned inside the chat, I can click right here. It takes me out, and it also includes an app mention to to my Spaces member who's been assigned the task. When I come back, you're going to notice on the right-hand side of every task, there's a delete button, and everyone who is a member of this space will see this task pane and be able to come in and participate in the tasks. All you have to do to mark a task complete is click on it, and it actually checks it off. And notice it completes it. Down here at the bottom, you can see that it tells you the task has been completed. There's also an undo button, and I even see it grayed out right here. If I decide that, for example, I want to come in and have a task be not completed, I can uncheck it, and it marks it as being incomplete. So it's a very simple, great way to keep track of who's doing what when you're working together in a Google Space. Go in and try creating some tasks of your own and keep up with what you're getting done inside of Google Spaces. Hey everybody, welcome back. I want to show you how to delete a Google Space if it ends up you don't need it anymore. Now remember, you can only delete a space if you're the space creator. When you delete a space, all the messages and tasks in the space are also deleted. Permissions on the files that are shared in the space are removed, but the file isn't deleted. And once a space is deleted, you can't get it back, so it's non-recoverable. But the good news is you can get rid of a space if you no longer need it. Now, I'm the one who created my spaces, so I'm going to come in right here and go to the spaces area from my Gmail. You'll see that I have 2 spaces here. I am the originator or creator of both the spaces. I can see that because when I come in and look at the space and click on it, if I come right here and actually go in and look at the member details or manage members, I'm the space manager. This means I'm the person that the space started with. That means I can delete it. To delete this space, I'm going to go back in and just click on this space name. And then you'll see right here that I have this chat area. What I want to do is come up above it and click back on the space name again, and then come down to the very bottom. And because again, I was the space manager or the person who created the space, I can delete it. When I click on delete, it reminds me that all the messages and tasks that are part of the space will be deleted. The files won't be. When I click on delete, you'll see that it's no longer in my space navigation pane, so now it's gone. So they're really easy to create and delete. Just remember that once they're deleted, all the content inside of them will also be. Hi everybody, I want to just mention a few important points about managing a Google Space and also about adding a video meeting to, again, a Google Space area. So I'm back inside my Google Space and I'm going to come up to the current space that I want to manage and click on its name. You'll see that when I do this, I get a menu to help me do important things. Now we've already looked at how to manage the membership of your Google Space. But notice right here, you can also set up notifications for how new messages and replies are going to occur in the space. You can also turn off your chat history. This means that after 24 hours, all the messages in the space will be deleted. And then notice if you are a member of a Google Space and decide you no longer want to be, you can leave it and then additionally deleting it. Now, the final area that we want to talk about with Spaces is how to add a video meeting to your Google Workspace. You can see an example of one right here. Now, how is this done? I'm going to come in and I'm actually going to go to a new chat, and you'll see that on the far right hand side there is a small video camera. This allows me to add a video meeting to my current workspace chat area. When I click on this, you'll see that it opens up a little icon that looks like a video camera. This is for me to have kind of a spontaneous video meeting. If I click on this, once I send it, it's going to post it into my chat feed for all the members of my Google Space. When I click on it, it will take me into the Google Meet tool that allows me to do video meetings. Now with these meetings, you can have up to 100 participants and a 60-minute meeting that doesn't cost any money. Right here, you're going to see that when I'm ready to join, I can click on Join Now, and it will actually take me in to my video meeting. Down on the bottom, I've got great tools like the ability to mute and unmute my mic, also control my video camera, lots of great features. And anyone who's part of my Google Space would see that meeting inside my chat area of my Google Space, and they would also be able to join this meeting as well. It's a great way to make your spaces a lot more interactive and engaging when you add the meeting feature. And as always, after the meeting's over, if I were to go back to my Google Space, I'd see that the mention of the video meeting is inside the chat as a history to let everybody know that there was a meeting that happened. So try it out. Go into your own Google Workspace, I should say space, and try adding a video meeting to your space area and see if you can get some of your fellow Google Space members to join it. Welcome back, everybody. I want to show you how to actually create your own video meeting from inside Gmail. Over on the left-hand side, I have the Meet feature turned on. Once I click on this, you're going to see that it takes me into my Meet area. This is where I can set up impromptu meetings. Right here, you'll notice that it gives me a new meeting option and also join with code. This is where someone can give you a code to their own Google video meeting that you can type in here, copy and paste is easier, and then join the meeting. To create a new instant meeting, I just click on New Meeting. It opens up right here, and notice that I can start the instant meeting right here, or I can copy this link and actually email it to someone. Now I'd like to send this invite to a coworker or to someone that I'm going to be working with. So I'm going to click on Send Invite. You'll see that I can share via email. It takes me into a new tab in my email. It includes all the different meeting information, including the meeting link. And then I'm going to go ahead and shoot it off to the coworker that I want to send the meeting invite to, and I can send it right from Gmail. The Google Meet is still going to be open right here, but I'm emailing them an invitation to my meeting. Now, if it ends up that I'd like to just do an impromptu meeting, I'm going to come in and just do New Meeting. And then I'm going to come in and say Start Now. So this just means a meeting that will be what we call impromptu or spontaneous, on the fly. There's a lot of different names for these kinds of meetings. When I start now, I will be the only one in this meeting. So hopefully I have copied that code and I've sent it to my coworkers, but you can see here how it's connecting. I have my video camera turned off, and notice I can toggle my video on. Also, I have my ability to mute and unmute myself. I have closed captioning, along with the ability to raise my hand during a meeting, add emoticons, and then even if you'll see right here, I can present my screen and some additional features, including a whiteboard, for example. And also, when I'm done, I can click on the Leave Call button and it will end my video meeting. But it's great that right from Gmail, I can communicate with my coworkers and go in and create a video meeting using the Meet feature. So go into your own Gmail and try creating a video meeting and see how it really adds to how you can communicate with your coworkers or with others that you work with through Gmail. Hi everyone, I want to show you how to join a video meeting from your Google Space. So inside my Google Space, I see that there's a meeting that was started by my coworker, and I would like to join it. Underneath where it mentions the meeting in the chat area, there is a link that when I hover over it will say Join Video Meeting. When I click on this, it takes me into another browser tab. Notice up here, this is the pre-join screen for my Google Video Meeting. It tells me who's already in the meeting. And notice right here, I can decide if I want to join with my video and audio on, or like one of my best practices for joining Google Meetings is to always join with my audio off, just in case, for example, my dog goes berserk in the background. I'm going to click right here on Join Now. This will join me into the meeting. You'll notice that I'm joining with my video and audio off. But once I'm in the meeting, I can, again, turn these toggles on and off to enable those different things. And also in the bottom right corner of my Google Meeting, I can see who's currently in the meeting with me. So all my coworkers and, again, Space members will come up in this list. I can also see if their audio is muted. And remember, inside these Google Meetings, you have great tools like the capacity to present from your screen, add reactions, even, for example, raise your hand. When I'm done with my meeting that I joined from my Google Space, all I need to do is click on the Leave Call button, and I'm able to leave the meeting, and I can always come back and close the tab that opened, and I'll be back in my Google Space area ready to continue working. This won't kick anyone else who's in the meeting out. It would allow them to continue working. But again, it's great that I have this ability to go from a chat to a virtual meeting and then come right back out and continue doing what I was doing before. Really, try this in your own Google Space. Go in and try to add a video meeting and join it and see how it can really add to the collaboration that you have within your Google Space. Hi everyone, an important part of being able to communicate and collaborate with people using the Google Suite is keeping track of their contact information. Google's very aware of this, and that's why for a very long time, not only have you been able to manage your email through your Google Suite, but you also have access to Google Contacts. This is one of the most widely used contact management tools available to people, and it's an essential part of Google's suite of web applications. It's going to store your contact information both for personal and professional purposes. So let's look at how you access your Google Contacts from your Gmail account. So right now I'm in my Gmail. Now the contacts are actually stored in the Google Suite, but not actually in your Gmail. There are different ways to access them, but I'm going to show you the main front door. I'm going to come to the top right-hand corner to the waffle button that allows me access to my other Google apps. Remember, it looks like a Rubik's Cube, but it's called the Google App button. When I click on this, I see the other apps that are available from my Gmail account. And if I come down, I'll see that Contacts is one of the apps under this list. When I click on it, it's going to open up a new browser tab. So again, my Gmail will be opened in the first browser tab, but now I'll see that the second one is called Google Contacts. We can see it up here. And this is taking me into the contacts that I currently have stored. Now, a manual way to create a new contact is to come to the top left-hand corner. And after I click on it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the Create Contact button in the top left. This will allow me to either create one contact at a time or multiple contacts. We're going to start with just one. I type in the name of the person, and obviously I can also copy and paste. And notice that it's going to include important information like company name, title, and email. I can also include information like their phone number, birthday, notes, and there are additional fields as well that can give me even more detail. When I'm done, I'm going to click on Save, and now this contact will be saved with my Google account, which means no matter where I go, on what computer, if I have a secure login, I'll be able to access this content and also the contacts information. It's a great way to create your own list of people that you work with that's just part of your Gmail account. Go into your own Google account and try it out. Add some contacts so that you can have that important information from wherever you go. Okay, everybody, how do you add an incoming Gmail from someone new to your Google Contacts? It's actually pretty easy to do, but you do need to open up the actual email message. So I've come into my Gmail account, and I'm going to double click on this new message. When I open it up, you'll see at the top that we can see an icon representing the person that the message is from. And if I actually hover over this, it shows me contact information for them. And in the top right-hand corner, if they have not been added to my Google Contacts yet, I see a circle with a head and shoulders and a plus sign. If I click on this, it will actually take this person and their email address and add it to my Google Contacts. Also, notice right here, I can click on Open Detailed View, and over on the right, it's going to show me their information. Once I'm done doing that, if I come up to the top right-hand corner, come back down to my Google Apps and go into my contacts, I'll now see that if I look at this list, the person who I just received that message from has been added. Now, if I'd like to add more detail, I'm going to come right here on the same line and click on the pencil on the right-hand side of their contact. This will take me into where I see the basic information that was provided from the email, which is their name and their email address. If I want to add additional information, then I need to come in and type it in because it won't capture a ton from the actual Gmail message. So I can add that additional information and edit the contact. This is a great way to quickly start really building your contact database by going directly from Gmail and adding those contacts in, and then you can add the details that you want after they've been added from Gmail. Go into your own Gmail and try adding some contacts, again, from the people who are already sending you email messages. It's a great way to work and really build that list of contacts so that you have it for when you need it. Hey everybody, what about being able to manage your contacts with categories of your own? Now we looked at this in the Gmail part 1, but now we want to look at the idea of applying a Google label to our contacts. You'll see that right now in my contacts, I do have one label. It's turned on under my labels category right here, and it's my work category. What if I'd also like to create a label called personal that I could apply to my contacts? What I want to do for this is come over to the left-hand side of my contacts list, and I'll see that I have a labels area where I can come down and create a label. All I need to do is provide my label with a name. I'm going to type in the word personal and then click on save. Now, once the label has been saved, how do I apply it to the contact? I like to go back to the contact list and actually come to the contact I'd like to apply a specific label to. You'll notice that on the right-hand side of your different contacts, you have a star that would allow you to, for example, favorite that contact. But in addition, there's the pencil button to edit and then the vertical ellipses. This is the More button. When I click on it, I'm going to see, again, the ability to print and export my contacts, but also apply labels. I'm going to click on Personal, and once I do that, when I come out, I'll see the personal label has been applied. So it's fairly easy for me to go down through my contact list and just use this vertical ellipses to actually apply different labels to each of my contacts until I've gotten them applied. Now, what's the use case? Once I've applied labels to my contacts, I can now come over to my navigation pane in my contacts view. And when I want to see all of my work contacts, I click on the work label and only my work contacts come up. If I want to come in and adjust my personal contacts, I can click on that and then I see those. And at any time I want to adjust one of the labels I've applied, I can go back to the ellipses next to the label, just come to the check mark and say remove from label, and it will remove that contact from that label. It does not remove it from my contacts list. It just takes the label off. It's a great way to create your own categories for your contacts that you can then filter by using the label. Go into your own Google Contacts, try to create a couple of labels and apply them, and see how it really makes keeping things organized a lot easier. Hello, what if you need to just have your contact on paper? You can print your contacts from Google in a number of different ways. So I'm in my contacts inside of my Google account, and I have a couple of different options. The first one is to come to the contact I want to print, just check mark the name, and then come up to the vertical ellipses on the toolbar above the contact. When I do this, it gives me an option to print my contact. You'll see that it will ask me that I'm only printing one selected contact. It'll take me into a print preview. This particular contact only includes the person's name and email address, and then I can click on print. What about if I want to print from inside the contact? I'm going to open the contact up by clicking on it. I see the contact card. And then I'm going to come up to the top right corner and look for the ellipses. This is also my way to edit the details behind the contact and work with it. When I click on this ellipses, again, I get an option to print the contact. When I click on this, it takes me in, and again, I'll see more detail, and then I can click on print, and it prints it off. Now, in addition, if I ever want to go in and edit a contact, notice from the contact card, I have an edit button right here. This will take me in so that I can add details to the contact. And of course, after I make those changes, I can save the changes just by clicking on the save button, and it will update everything in my contact. Additionally, a contact can be deleted, and there are multiple options for that. I like to go to my contact list, select a contact, and if I wanted for any reason to delete them, once they're selected, you'll notice here that there is a 3 dots next to the row that they're on where I can delete. Also up at the top, you're going to see that there's an option to delete the contact from there as well. Keep in mind you can also export your contacts. When you export them, they can be exported either as a Google CSV file or an Outlet CSV file or even a V card that works for Apple devices. And by exporting them, then you can import them into maybe a contact management system for that particular device. But really what you're going to see is that working with contacts is pretty easy. So go into your own Google Contacts and try working with them. Welcome back. I need to spend a little bit more time managing my contacts. First of all, in Google Contacts, where do I go for the settings of my Google Contacts app? Well, we have Google Contacts open. I'm going to go to the top right-hand corner to the settings menu. Because I'm in my Google Contacts, when I click on the settings gear, that's what I see. If I come down to more settings, you'll see it takes me into the basic settings of my contacts application. They include my default country. You'll notice when I click here, it opens up another browser tab and shows me what my default language is. Mine's English. And additionally, it will let me also decide what country I'm from and then how to sort my contacts. I can either sort them by first name or last name, and I can save those. So it's pretty basic. Now, additionally, if I would like to print all the contacts in my contact list, you'll see that over in my contacts navigation pane, there is a print button. This is really great when you just want to print all your contacts. When I click on print, you'll show that it prints me off a list, which can be nice when you want a comprehensive list. What if I've deleted a contact? So if I come in and click on a contact, select it, and then come up to the ellipses and delete it, it's removed from my contact list. I'm going to move it to my trash can, but notice right here, it will tell me that any contacts that I delete will be permanently deleted after 30 days. So Google gives me a 30-day grace period. Now, in the meantime, those contacts are actually here in my trash, much like my Gmail that gets deleted. But here I won't see emails, I'll see my Google Contacts. If there are contacts here that I don't want permanently deleted, I get that 30-day grace period. After that, they will be permanently deleted. And notice it tells me that. Also that I can empty the trash. But let's say I don't want these contacts deleted. I've accidentally placed them here and I need to get them back out. I can select both of them by checking them off, and up above, I'll now see a recover option. This allows me to actually take these contacts and remove them from the trash can. And if I go back to my contacts list, it places them right back where they were before. So if you accidentally delete a contact, it's okay. Go to your trash can, select it, and recover it back out. But remember, you only get 30 days. After that, your contacts will be permanently deleted. So feel free to go into your Google Contacts and try this out. Just make sure you recover the contacts if you're playing with it. Hi everyone, we are ready to talk about one of my favorite features that comes with the Google Suite, and that is how easy it is to access your Google Calendar from Gmail. When you sign up for a Google account, you automatically have access to this fantastic calendar app, and it's really easy to get to from your Gmail. So here I am in my Gmail, and to access the calendar, I'm going to come up to the Google Apps bar in the top right-hand corner. Remember, it looks like a Rubik's Cube. When you click on it, you're going to see the other apps that come with your Google Suite. Go down until you see the calendar icon. It's pretty easy to find. When you left click on it, it will launch your calendar in a separate browser tab. Now let's talk for a minute about how you can update your view when you're in this calendar. You'll see that in the top right-hand corner, you've got two important options. The first one is it will tell you what time sequence you're in right now. So right now I'm viewing a month view, but if I click on this, you'll notice that I can view my calendar by the day. I can also view it by the week, and by default, it will include weekends. I can also see it by month, year, and then even 4-day stretches of time. Now, a couple of additional things you can also do when you're in this. Notice that if you don't want your weekends, you can come down and uncheck this bottom option and it will turn it off. Now, as far as calendar settings, you'll see that on the left-hand side of that, again, time setting, you have your settings menu. This allows you to go into your settings for your calendar. This will again let you make sure that you have the correct time zone selected and also the format that you want the dates to be showing in. To get out of this, if you just click on the back arrow in the top left-hand corner next to settings, it will take you back to your calendar. There's also in the top left-hand corner toggles to allow you to take the calendar and go between different time increments. So since I'm in the month view, this will move me forward 1 month at a time. And then the Today button helps you to always get back to the current day, and it'll be highlighted. So in this case, the current date for me is highlighted with a blue highlight on the particular date. And if I want to move to a different day in my calendar, I can come over on the left-hand side to the navigation pane, click on the date I want to move to, and using the same time increment, it moves me forward. It's really a very intuitive, easy to use interface. Google has done a fantastic job making this calendar easy to work with. It doesn't take very long to get used to. So again, I challenge you to get into your Gmail, open up your calendar, and just start clicking around and see how easy it is to use. Hi everyone, I want to show you how to create an event or a meeting in your Google Calendar and also a recurring event. Now right now I'm seeing my Google Calendar in a week view. The weekends are turned on. To create an event, I'm going to come up to the top left-hand corner to the Create button. It's pretty big, so it's hard to miss. When you click on this, I'm going to select Event, and it will open up a new event window. I need to add my title. Then down below, you'll see the first thing it asks me is going to be the date of my meeting. Now I can update this just by clicking on it, and it will populate, again, a calendar that I can pick from. I can pick the correct date for my meeting, and then also I can come in and adjust the time. Now remember, these times are coming from the settings of your calendar, and the reason it's doing 1 hour settings is because that's the default. There's also an opportunity to do time zone, add guests. These would be coworkers or other people that are in your contacts that you are going to be inviting to attend your meeting. Additionally, you're going to see that I can add a Google Meet option to make it into a video conferencing meeting. This would actually, again, take me into Google Meet and provide that information. And I can have up to 100 guests attend one of these meetings. Now, what if I have a file that I'd like to also add to the meeting? As you come down, you'll see that additionally, I can add descriptions or attachments. Remember, the attachments can either come from your Google Drive or you can upload them. Once you add an attachment, it will be copied into the meeting invite, and all you have to do to send it off is click on Save. Now, the people you've invited to the meeting will also receive an invite in their Google Gmail account or through email to your Google meeting. So I'm going to save it. And notice right here, it's asking me if I would like to send calendar invitations to guests. I would. So I'm going to click on Send, and it's been saved and added to my calendar. Now, again, for me to be able to see the meeting, I need to go to the day. Here's the actual calendar event, and if I click on it, it will open up. Now, what about a reoccurring calendar event? The only difference is that you set a recurring pattern when you create the event. So I'm going to come back up to Create, go to Event again, type in the name of the event, and then underneath where I pick the date for the meeting to begin, what's really important is after I pick my first date for the meeting, then I set up a recurrence pattern. Right now it says do not repeat, but notice I can now say weekly every Wednesday. I can also set up a custom pattern where I say end after a certain amount of time, and I can also adjust the time as well. This will make this into a meeting that will recur every Wednesday starting March 8th. And then when I click on Save, it will get added to my calendar, but it will be recurring for those 13 occurrences, and then it will turn off. Now, as always, go in and try this out. Go to your Google Calendar, try creating a couple of events. They're also really easy to delete because after you create one, if you decide you don't need it anymore, open it up. Notice in the top right-hand corner, there's a trash can, and if I delete on this, if I click on it, If it's a recurring event, it'll ask me to either delete just this one or all the events. If I do just the event, then all the other ones will still be in my calendar, but it's really easy to remove them. So make some of your own and try it out. Okay, I want to respond to a calendar event invite in my Google Gmail account. So I've come into my inbox. I can see the, again, calendar invite right here. I'm going to click on it and it opens it up. One great thing that Google has done here is put everything you need right at the top. You're going to see the name of the meeting, also the date, time, and time zone, and then also who it's from. Coming down, I can see my opportunities to respond. Yes means I'm coming, maybe is tentative, and no means I'm not going to come. Notice the color. There's also a more options button on the right-hand side of the no button, allowing you to propose a new time or add an additional note about the meeting. Yes, I am going to be going. Now, if this is a video conferencing meeting, notice the Google Meet is here as well with a link and a meeting link under that. Down on the bottom, if I respond with a yes, you'll see it actually opens up a new browser tab. It can take just a few moments to open. Takes me into my calendar. And if I look at my calendar, I can see right here that the meeting has been added to my calendar. And if I open it up, I can see again the same information. The name of the meeting, the date and time, and then who, again, the meeting organizer is. This is the coworker or person that sent me the meeting invite, and the green check mark meaning, yes, I will be attending the meeting. So it's really great because you can go straight from your Gmail into your Google Calendar and see these events get added. And it's really easy to do. So don't be afraid to try sending someone a calendar invite and watch them respond and see how it keeps track of all of it right inside of your Google Calendar. It's pretty cool. Welcome back. I want to show you how to share a calendar, edit a calendar, and also viewing other calendars. So I'm back in my Gmail calendar or Google Calendar, and I'd like to share a calendar with someone that I work closely with. Remember, when you share calendars, it's important to be aware of the permissions that you're providing to the person you're sharing the calendar with. So only share the calendar with people you trust. Right here on the left, I'm going to see my calendar. This is the calendar with my name or the person I'm playing. There's an ellipses that appears next to it. I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to come to Settings and Sharing. This takes me not only into the sharing of the calendar, but also the personal settings for it. This includes information like the name of the calendar, its time zone. But as I come down, you'll notice that right here, I can add other people and groups to this calendar. So when I click on this, it brings up a list of the people who are in my contacts. I can select one of them. And then underneath, I also need to decide what level of permission I'm giving them. If I want to give them limited access, I can pick the top level. Make sure you realize what you're sharing when you do this, and then click on Send. They'll receive an invitation to my calendar in their own Gmail account. Then when they click on, they'll be able to see it over here. Now, if I ever need to edit a calendar event, what I want to do is come to the event I want to edit, click on it, and at the top, I'll see an edit button, which is a pencil. This will allow me to come in and actually add information, update times of an event, for example. Maybe I need to change the week that the meeting's happening on. I can make that update. You'll notice here this is a recurring event, so when I make this change, it'll warn me that it's being adjusted. When I click on OK, it will change it. And if there are other events, because it's recurring, they will also be adjusted for me. Remember that any additional calendars will show up here over on the left under Other Calendars. This is where you can go to expand and collapse them. Like right now, I have another Google Calendar showing me holidays, which is a default. If I uncheck it, it would turn off all the United States holidays that are in my calendar. So adding additional calendars, all you have to do is click on this plus sign. You can go in and create new calendars or browse for calendars that are provided by Google and other providers, or you can also import calendars. So there's a lot of opportunities to enlarge what you're seeing inside this calendar, and it's great to also view other people's calendars. Again, go into your own Google Calendar, create some events, look at how you can share your calendar with other people, and then also how easy it is to edit calendar event. Welcome back. I need to search my calendar. I also need to view calendar settings. Searching your calendar is really easy because, again, Google is so good at search. If you come to the top right-hand corner of the calendar, no matter what view you're in, you'll see a magnifying glass, which means to look for something. When you click on this, you can type in a keyword, a person, a date, But to refine your search, make sure you go to the right-hand side. You'll see an arrow for search options. This will take you into where you can decide what calendars you're looking through, also what you're looking for, any people involved in the calendar event, locations, and even dates. When you click on search, it goes through and looks for any events that match that. And if you click on one event, it'll actually open it up so that you can go into the event card or even edit. When you're done with your search, you can click on the X to clear it out and then go back, and it'll take you back to your calendar. Now remember, every calendar has settings. For the settings of the calendar app itself, go to the top right-hand corner and click on the settings menu gear and go to settings. This will let you go into the settings of the calendar app. The other place you can go to get to the settings of a specific calendar or to go down to your My Calendars view, go to the calendar in question, go to the vertical ellipses on the side of it, click, and then select Settings and Sharing. These will take you into the settings for a specific calendar because different calendars can have different time zones and also different features. So remember, it depends on what setting area you're looking at. Go into your own Google Calendar and look at these areas so you feel comfortable finding them, because it's important to have your settings in a way that works for you. Hey, have you ever had a note that you just want to be able to keep track of that may not relate directly to an email? It's just like a note to yourself. Well, inside your Google Suite, there's a great little app called Google Keep that I love. I can use it on my Android or my iPhone, and I can also use it on my normal computer. To access Google Keep, you need to go up to your Google app bar and then click on it. And come down, it's Keep, so it's a K. Scroll down until you find Keep. It looks like a little notepad. When you click on it, it will open in its own browser tab. Now with Keep, you're just basically creating electronic sticky notes. You'll see that at the top, there's a place where you can type a note. So right here, notice I have to give my title at the top of my note. And then I can actually type in the items that I want in my note. Your notes can have hyperlinks. They can have a lot of different kinds of information in them. In addition, you can actually give your notes different colors. You can even apply backgrounds to them like this. And you'll also see that inside each note, once you create it, if you come down, you can go back and edit your notes at any time just by clicking on them. At the bottom, you can add images. You can also archive notes. And then there are more options, being able to delete a note, even assign a label. Now, if your note's really important, what I recommend is coming to the top right-hand corner of the note and pinning it. That way it's going to be favorited up here at the top with your important pins. As time goes by, you can unpin a note just by going to the top right-hand corner, clicking on the pin, and it unpins it and puts it back here under your other ones. Also, if you go to any note and double click on it or click on it once, it'll open up larger. You can actually share some of your notes with other people that are part of your Google contacts. And that's why you'll see their initials with their name, or for example, this just shows the first letter of their name in the bottom corner. And it's a great way just to keep track of things that you don't want to forget. And it goes with your Google account. So try it out, Google Keep, super easy. Finally, if you need to delete a note, all you want to do is go to the note, click on the bottom right-hand corner on the ellipses, come in and you can just click on delete, and it will allow you to get rid of it. Okay, what about all the stuff you just need to keep track of? We've talked about this a little bit, but there's an awesome app that's also part of your Google Suite that you get when you sign up for Gmail called Google Tasks. Right now I'm in my inbox, and all I need to do to open up my task list is come to the right-hand side. Below my Google app button, I'll see a blue circle with a blue check mark inside of it. When I click on this, it opens up my task list. Now I can just have standalone tasks or tasks that I schedule. At the top, I can click on Add a Task. I'm going to type in what this is. Notice that underneath, I can enter details, and then also a date and time when I want to have this task accomplished. I can set the date and then also the time. Now this is going to create a scheduled task. And I can continue to add more tasks to this list. What's interesting though at the top is that if I close this, any task that I've scheduled, like this one that's supposed to happen on the 21st at 10:30, if I now go up and actually open up my Google Calendar, A scheduled task not only gets added to your task list, but if I now come in and look at my calendar on that day, I'm going to see that I have a new event that's actually a scheduled task. When I open it up, I'll see that it's not just an event, it's that task that I just created. And notice it's saved in my tasks list. This is the automatic list that's created when you add tasks by default. You can actually create additional tasks of your own and even task lists. If I wanted to edit my task, I can click on it. I can come in and even edit, for example, the time that I want it to happen and the list that it's in. So your tasks also occur not just in your task list, but if they're scheduled, they show up in your calendar. Now, how would you create a task in the calendar without having to go to your task list? Go here to the plus sign in your calendar, click on it, and notice that you can create new events, but also new tasks. And it's the same idea, it's just it's a to-do rather than something that's going to happen. Notice I can pick the date and time when I want the task to happen, but by default, this will be a scheduled task. So when I click on save, I'll notice that it will be added to my calendar, unlike the other tasks that are just in the list. Now, when it comes to managing your tasks, you're going to open up your task, again, pane over on the right. Any task you created, you can come to the ellipses on the side. This will give you options to create a new task list, create a subtask, or even delete a task you no longer need. And if it's deleted from your task list, it will also be deleted from your calendar. So tasks are just a great way to keep track of the stuff that you need to get done. Okay, what about when you get an email and you think, oh, I need to add that to my list of things I need to get done? Is there a way to take an email and turn it into a task? There is. So I'm in my inbox. I'm going to come up and turn on my task pane. And then I'm going to go in and find the specific email that I'd like to turn into a task. I'm going to come in, select the email, and I'm going to left drag it to the top of my task pane. Notice it will allow me to left drag and drop it in. Once I get it there, you'll see that it's creating the task for me. What's great about this task is once it's been added, if I click on it to open it up, it actually has a link to the email. When I click on this, it will open up the email and take me to it. I can add additional information like details of when I want to get the task completed. I can edit that. The task will still appear in my task list. Now remember that if you want to mark a task as complete, you just need to come over and place a check mark in the circle next to the task. It will mark it as complete and remove it from your list of tasks. Additionally, you can actually favorite tasks or star them. To do that, you're going to come to the right-hand side of the task, fill in the starred task option. It just adds a solid star next to that task. Now, after tasks have been starred, you'll see that up at the top of your task list, you can actually filter your task list by your starred tasks. These would kind of be the ones you consider to be most important or pressing. Also, I can come in and I can add a task that will be starred automatically. But by default, your tasks are organized in the My Tasks view, which includes everything. And also, there is an option to create your own custom list of tasks in addition to the ones that come by default with your Google account. So, try tasks out. It's really nice that you can go from email to a to-do list in the same window, and it's really easy to manage. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this second part of our Google Gmail course. In this course, we've explored some of the additional great features that come with your Google account beyond Gmail. We've explored the ability to use a chat function from your inbox, and also the collaboration available through a Google Space, where you can share files and create group tasks. We've also looked at the Google Meet feature that you can bring into your Google Meetings to add video conferencing. We've also looked at some of the additional apps that come with a Google account, including the Google Contacts application, which allows you to keep track of people that you work with every day, and also the Google Calendar, where you can keep track of the different events that you're managing right from your Google account. And remember, all of this follows you wherever you go. All you have to do is log into your Google account and you have access to all these great features. So thanks again for joining us. And as always, please go in and try these things out, because when you try them, you're using them. And that's really the pathway to learning, to make them part of the way you work every day.